When we keep choosing what's not choosing us, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to embrace what's meant for us. Self-worth and value are foundational to understanding who you are and what you deserve. Your worth isn't tied to the things you achieve or the approval of others. It's intrinsic, woven into the very fabric of your being. Too often we look for validation in external sources, whether it's through accomplishments, relationships, or material possessions. We place our worth in things that are temporary, unstable, and ultimately unfulfilling. When you know your value, you stop letting the world define you. You understand that your worth is not up for negotiation. It's not something you earn based on how much you can do or how much you can give to others. Your value is not tied to how much you can achieve in a day or how many people like you. It's not found in your bank account or in the titles you hold. Your value comes from simply being you just as you are. Recognizing your self-worth means understanding that you deserve the best. You deserve respect, kindness, love, and opportunities that align with your true self. When you know your worth, you stop chasing after things that aren't meant for you. You stop clinging to people who don't appreciate you. You stop investing in situations that only drain you. Your self-worth empowers you to make choices that honor who you are. True value comes from within, not from external validation. When you begin to see yourself as valuable, you start making decisions that reflect that truth. You stop seeking approval from others because you already approve of yourself. This shift in perspective allows you to let go of relationships, jobs, and dreams that don't add to your life or uplift your spirit. Instead, you become more focused on what truly aligns with your purpose and your potential. The power of letting go is one of the most liberating and transformative forces you can embrace in your life. For many of us, the thought of letting go feels like a loss. It feels as if we're walking away from something valuable, something we've invested time, energy, and emotion into. But the truth is, letting go isn't about losing. It's about creating space for something better, for something that truly aligns with who you are and where you're going. Letting go is not an act of weakness. It is an act of strength and wisdom. It takes courage to release what no longer serves you, whether it's a toxic relationship, a dead-end job, a past failure, or even old beliefs that no longer fit who you are today. Holding on to things that weigh you down only keeps you tethered to your past. It keeps you stuck in patterns and situations that don't allow you to grow or move forward. When you hold on to what's no longer meant for you, you're robbing yourself of the freedom to step into what's next. The power of letting go is rooted in trust. It's about trusting that whatever is meant for you will not pass you by, and that sometimes what you let go of was never meant to stay. Whether it's a dream that didn't come to fruition or a relationship that ended in heartbreak, holding on to it too tightly keeps you from embracing new opportunities that could bring greater fulfillment. Letting go requires you to release your grip on outcomes, to stop trying to control things that are beyond your control, and to trust that the universe, life, or God has something better in store for you. When you let go, you also free yourself from the emotional baggage that comes with holding on. Anger, regret, resentment, and guilt are all heavy burdens to carry. These emotions keep you anchored to situations that hurt you and prevent you from healing. Letting go is a way to release those negative emotions, to forgive, and to create space for healing and growth. It's not about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing to move forward without the weight of those emotions weighing you down. Letting go also involves forgiveness, not just of others, but of yourself. Many of us hold on to mistakes, missteps, and regrets, thinking that if we just carry them long enough, we'll somehow make things right. But the truth is, you can't change the past. Holding on to guilt or shame only keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-blame. The power of letting go allows you to forgive yourself, to accept your imperfections, and to move forward with the lessons you've learned instead of the burden of past mistakes. Letting go also clears the way for new things to enter your life. It's like cleaning out a closet full of old clothes. When you make space by letting go of what no longer fits, you open up the possibility for new things to come in. The same is true for your life. When you let go of things, people, and situations that aren't serving you, you create room for better opportunities, relationships, and growth. Letting go is about embracing the unknown, trusting that what comes next will be more aligned with your purpose and potential. The danger of unanswered investment is one of the most subtle, yet destructive forces that can quietly derail our lives without us even realizing it. We invest our time, energy, resources, and emotions into things, people, or situations that don't reciprocate, leaving us drained, frustrated, and stuck. The danger doesn't always lie in the investment itself. It's in the lack of return, the unanswered calls, the unreturned efforts, the silent treatments, and the unfulfilled promises that leave us hanging. When we invest in something, we're expecting a return. We give our time, resources, and energy in the hope that the effort will pay off in some way. Whether it's a relationship, a career, a project, or a dream, the assumption is that there will be some form of reciprocity. We hope that the return might look like love, appreciation, success, or growth. However, when the things we invest in don't invest back in us, it leads to stagnation and eventual frustration. You start to feel as though you're running on empty, putting in effort, but getting little to nothing in return. This is where the danger begins, because unanswered investment can slowly erode your self-worth and sense of purpose. You begin to believe that perhaps you're not enough, or that your contributions don't matter. The lack of response from the people or situations you're investing in can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and confusion. When we pour ourselves into something or someone, and it seems as though no progress is being made or no appreciation is shown, we begin to question whether we are worthy of better. We wonder if our efforts are in vain, or if we are simply not capable of achieving success or finding the connection we seek. The danger of unanswered investment isn't just emotional or psychological, it's also practical. Think about the time and energy we give to jobs, relationships, or goals that don't give back. How much time have you spent in a job that drains you but doesn't lead to personal or professional growth? How many relationships have you poured into that left you feeling unappreciated and unnoticed? How often have you worked tirelessly on a dream, only to see it fall apart with no tangible results? Each moment spent in these pursuits is an opportunity lost, an opportunity that could have been spent in places and with people that value you, your effort, and your worth. When you keep investing in things that don't invest back in you, you lose valuable time that could be spent growing in areas that truly align with your purpose. You become trapped in a cycle of unreciprocated effort, which keeps you from focusing on the things that will actually take you to the next level. Time is the one thing we can never get back, and when you continue to pour into things or people that offer nothing in return, you risk wasting it on pursuits that do not propel you forward. Another aspect of the danger of unanswered investment is the emotional toll it takes. Investing in something with high hopes, only to see those hopes remain unfulfilled, can lead to emotional burnout. You begin to feel drained, frustrated, and disillusioned. The constant cycle of putting in more and more effort without seeing any significant return can leave you feeling like you're on a treadmill moving, but getting nowhere. This emotional exhaustion can eventually lead to resentment, bitterness, or even apathy. The energy you once had for your dreams or goals gets sapped away, and you begin to lose the enthusiasm and passion that once drove you. The danger doesn't end there. Unanswered investment can also affect your sense of identity. When you invest so much into something, you become attached to the outcome. You start to define yourself by the things you've poured yourself into, whether that's your job, your relationships, or your dreams. But when those things don't return the effort you've invested, you're left with a sense of emptiness. You begin to wonder if your efforts are who you are, or if you're worth something only when you are producing results or pleasing others. This misplaced sense of identity can keep you in a place of uncertainty, not knowing who you really are outside of your investments. The danger of unanswered investment is that it can become an endless cycle of giving without receiving, leading to emotional depletion, wasted time, and a distorted sense of self. The longer you stay in this cycle, the harder it becomes to break free. You can become so caught up in the hope that things will eventually change that you end up sacrificing your own well-being, happiness, and growth. Ultimately, the danger of unanswered investment is that it can rob you of the most precious things you have: your time, your energy, your passion, and your self-worth. When you're constantly pouring into things that don't give back, you lose sight of what truly matters, and you risk missing out on the opportunities that could transform your life. The key is to recognize when your investments are not being answered, and to have the courage to walk away from them, making space for the things and people that will invest in you and elevate your life to new heights. Discerning healthy choices is one of the most critical skills we can develop in our lives. It's about knowing the difference between what nurtures us and what drains us. Healthy choices aren't always the easiest to make, but they are the ones that shape our future, influence our well-being, and align us with our true purpose. In a world full of distractions, pressures, and constant demands, the ability to discern healthy choices allows us to preserve our energy, protect our peace, and maintain our sense of direction. At its core, Discerning healthy choices requires self-awareness. Without understanding ourselves, our values, strengths, and weaknesses, we're more likely to fall into patterns that aren't beneficial to us. Many of the unhealthy choices we make are driven by external influences rather than internal clarity. We may make decisions based on societal expectations, the opinions of others, or the pressure to conform to trends. But true discernment comes when we look inward and ask ourselves what truly serves us, what nourishes our soul, and what moves us closer to our purpose. Without this self-awareness, it becomes too easy to make decisions that feel right in the moment but lead to long-term regret or emotional drain. Healthy choices are those that promote balance. Too often, we're caught in a cycle of extremes, either overindulging or depriving ourselves, working relentlessly or doing nothing at all. True discernment means learning how to find equilibrium in our decisions. For example, when it comes to work-life balance, a healthy choice is one where we recognize the importance of both our career ambitions and personal well-being. It's not about choosing one over the other, but ensuring that both areas are attended to in a way that supports our overall health and happiness. The ability to discern balance is vital to making healthy choices because extremes, whether they're in food, relationships, work, or other areas of life, often lead to burnout, frustration, or dissatisfaction. Another key to discerning healthy choices is knowing when to say no. One of the hardest things to do is to recognize that we simply can't say yes to everything without sacrificing our peace, our time, or our health. Saying no is not a rejection of others or their needs, it's an act of self-respect and preservation. When we are overwhelmed with commitments, responsibilities, and obligations, we lose sight of what truly matters to us. Healthy choices require discernment in prioritizing what's essential and saying no to things that, while perhaps well-intentioned, may be draining our energy or misaligning us with our purpose. In relationships, discerning healthy choices means choosing connections that build you up rather than deplete you. Not every relationship, no matter how close or long-standing, is meant to be a part of your future. People evolve, and sometimes the relationships we've invested in no longer serve our growth or well-being. Healthy choices in relationships involve recognizing when a connection is toxic or unbalanced. It's about understanding when someone's behavior, expectations, or energy is taking more from you than it gives. It's not about cutting people off easily, but it's about making decisions that protect your mental, emotional, and physical health. Discerning healthy relationships allows us to cultivate an environment where we can thrive rather than merely survive. Financial decisions are another area where discernment of healthy choices is crucial. Too many people live under financial stress because they fail to make decisions that align with their long-term financial health. Healthy choices in terms of money include learning to distinguish between wants and needs, prioritizing saving and investing, and avoiding impulsive purchases. It also involves making the choice to live within your means, understanding the value of delayed gratification, and being intentional about how you spend your money. When we make financially healthy choices, we reduce stress and increase our ability to build a secure and fulfilling future. Moreover, discerning healthy choices also means listening to our bodies and minds. Often we ignore warning signs, whether it's physical fatigue, emotional exhaustion, or mental burnout, because we're caught up in the demands of life. But healthy choices require us to acknowledge when we need rest, when we need to take a step back, and when we need to rejuvenate. It's about making decisions that allow us to care for our physical and mental health, whether that means getting enough sleep, eating nourishing food, exercising, or taking time to meditate or relax. By listening to our bodies and minds, we avoid the dangerous pattern of pushing ourselves beyond our limits, which can lead to burnout or even illness. In making discerning choices, it's essential to reflect on the long-term impact of each decision. Healthy choices are rarely based on immediate gratification. They require looking beyond the present moment and considering how each choice will affect us down the road. Will this decision contribute to our growth, or will it hold us back? Will this bring us peace or chaos? Will this relationship help us flourish, or will it drain us? By weighing the long-term consequences, we make choices that align with our greater goals and aspirations, rather than settling for short-term comforts that only provide temporary relief. Discerning healthy choices doesn't come easily, and it requires constant practice. It requires learning from past mistakes and using that wisdom to make better decisions moving forward. It's not about perfection, but about being intentional and self-aware enough to make decisions that nurture and protect who we are and where we're headed. Healthy choices are the building blocks of a life that is aligned with our true selves and our purpose, allowing us to grow, thrive, and live with intention and clarity. Living with purpose is one of the most profound ways to experience fulfillment and alignment in life. It's more than just setting goals or achieving success. It's about understanding the deeper reason behind everything you do. Living with purpose means making decisions that align with who you are at your core, understanding your unique strengths, and walking in the direction of your passions and values. When you live with purpose, every step you take is guided by a sense of meaning, and every day holds the potential for you to contribute to something greater than yourself. The first step toward living with purpose is identifying what truly matters to you. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of what is most important, distracted by the noise and demands of the world around you. Purpose is often found in the quiet moments of reflection, where you connect with your inner self and ask the deeper questions: what do I value most? What do I want to contribute to the world? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions help you uncover what brings you fulfillment, joy, and satisfaction, and guide you toward choices that honor your true essence. Living with purpose also means embracing your unique gifts and talents. Every person has something distinct to offer, whether it's creativity, leadership, compassion, or problem solving. Recognizing your strengths and understanding how they fit into your larger purpose helps you contribute in ways that only you can. It's not about trying to fit into a mold or following someone else's path. It's about embracing your individuality and trusting that your unique contributions have value. When you step into your gifts, you not only make a difference in the lives of others, but you also experience a deep sense of joy and fulfillment that comes from using your talents in alignment with your purpose. Purpose is also tied to the impact we have on others. Living with purpose often involves serving others and contributing to the greater good. It's not about living a self-centered life, but about using your purpose to make a positive difference in the lives of those around you. Whether it's through your career, relationships, or volunteer work, living with purpose calls you to step outside of yourself and consider how your actions can contribute to the well-being of others. The power of purpose is magnified when you understand that your life is not just about what you can gain, but what you can give. By contributing to the lives of others, you create a ripple effect that spreads meaning and positivity beyond your immediate sphere. One of the key elements of living with purpose is aligning your daily actions with your values. Every day presents an opportunity to live out your purpose through the choices you make. When your actions reflect your values, you experience a deep sense of integrity and satisfaction. However, this requires a conscious effort to examine whether your choices align with your purpose or whether you're being influenced by external expectations or distractions. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of work, society, or other people's opinions, but living with purpose means remaining grounded in what matters most to you, even when external pressures try to pull you off course. Every action you take, no matter how small, can either bring you closer to or further from your purpose, so it's essential to be intentional with your decisions. Living with purpose also requires perseverance and resilience. It's easy to feel motivated when things are going well, but purpose becomes truly meaningful when you encounter challenges, setbacks, or difficult seasons. During these times, your purpose acts as a compass, helping you stay focused and grounded. The journey toward purpose is rarely a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, and obstacles that test your resolve. But it's in these moments that purpose can give you the strength to push through. When you're rooted in your purpose, you understand that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities to grow, learn, and refine your path. Your sense of purpose keeps you moving forward, even when the path ahead seems unclear or uncertain. Furthermore, living with purpose requires self-awareness and reflection. It's not something you set once and forget. Rather, it's a dynamic process that requires you to check in with yourself regularly. Are the choices you're making today aligned with your long-term vision? Are you living in a way that reflects your values? Are there areas of your life where you're drifting away from your purpose? Regular reflection allows you to course correct and ensures that you stay true to your path. Purpose isn't just about where you're going, it's about how you're growing along the way. When you live with purpose, you're constantly evolving, learning, and becoming more attuned to the person you're meant to be. Living with purpose also fosters a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond temporary pleasures. Many people spend their lives chasing external markers of success, money, status, approval, but these are fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. True fulfillment comes from knowing that you're living in alignment with your values and making a meaningful impact in the world. When you live with purpose, you don't measure success by external achievements alone. Instead, you measure success by the inner peace, joy, and satisfaction that come from knowing you're living a life that truly matters. Even in the face of adversity, purpose provides a steady source of meaning that allows you to endure challenges with resilience and hope. Lastly, living with purpose means understanding that you are a part of something larger than yourself. Purpose is not just about individual fulfillment, it's about contributing to the collective good, whether that's in your family, community, or the world at large. When you live with purpose, you recognize that your life is interconnected with the lives of others, and your actions can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. This broader perspective helps you stay humble, grounded, and committed to serving others, knowing that the purpose of your life extends far beyond personal achievement. Embracing God's timing and provision is one of the most profound aspects of living a life of faith. It requires a deep trust in the divine process and a willingness to surrender control over the circumstances of our lives. In a world that values instant gratification and quick results, learning to embrace God's timing is countercultural. Yet it's often in this surrender, in this waiting period, where we experience the most growth, transformation, and divine provision. At the heart of embracing God's timing is the understanding that His ways are not our ways. We often want things to happen according to our own schedule, when we are ready, when it's convenient, or when we think it's best for us. However, God operates from a place of eternal wisdom, knowing exactly when the right time is for everything. His timing may not always align with our expectations, but it is always perfect. The key is to trust that God sees the bigger picture, even when we can only see a small part of the puzzle. His timing is not arbitrary. It is always designed to work for our ultimate good, even if we don't understand the why or the how in the moment. God's timing often invites us to move beyond impatience and to step into a space of faith. Waiting on God can feel uncomfortable, especially when we are eager to see results, answers, or breakthroughs. However, in these waiting seasons, God is working in ways that are unseen, preparing us for what He has in store. It is in the moments of waiting that He often refines our character, deepens our trust, and teaches us patience. The Bible speaks of waiting on the Lord as an active, purposeful stance, one that requires faith and hope even in the absence of visible results. This process of waiting is not wasted time, but a crucial part of the preparation for what's to come. One of the greatest challenges we face is surrendering our need to control and instead letting God lead. When we embrace God's timing, we must relinquish our own desire to dictate the course of our lives. We may feel the urge to push things forward, to hurry up the process, or to take matters into our own hands. Yet when we do this, we risk stepping out of God's perfect plan and timing. God often asks us to trust that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances and bringing everything together in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Surrendering our need to control doesn't mean we do nothing. It means we allow God to guide our steps while being active in obedience and trust. Along with trusting God's timing, we must also learn to embrace His provision. God's provision is often not just about meeting our physical needs, but also about providing for us emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. It's easy to focus on the material aspects, financial stability, health, career success, but God provides in ways that go far beyond these. He provides us with peace in the midst of chaos, joy in the face of hardship, and wisdom when we feel lost. God's provision is holistic and encompasses every part of our lives, meeting our needs in ways we may not always expect or recognize. God's provision is also not always immediate. Sometimes we experience seasons of scarcity or struggle that seem to last longer than we anticipated. These times are where our faith is tested the most. However, even in these seasons, God is faithful. The Bible is full of examples where God provided in unexpected ways. He provided for the Israelites in the desert with manna. He multiplied the oil flour for the widow. And He provided a way for His people to survive in times of famine. These stories remind us that God's provision is not always according to our timetable, but it is always sufficient. His timing and provision go hand in hand. Sometimes we need to wait for His provision because it's part of His process of building trust in us and teaching us reliance on Him. Embracing God's timing and provision also means recognizing that God's plan for us is not only about what we receive, but also about what we give. His provision is often meant to flow through us to bless others. When we open ourselves to embrace God's provision, we are also invited to become vessels of that provision to others. Whether it's through acts of service, sharing resources, or offering encouragement, God's provision in our lives becomes a testimony of His goodness and faithfulness to those around us. We are called to be stewards of what He provides. And part of embracing His provision is learning how to use it to further His kingdom and bless others in the process. One important aspect of embracing God's timing is recognizing that delays or unanswered prayers are not signs of God's absence or neglect. Sometimes we may feel frustrated or abandoned when we don't receive what we prayed for in the way or the time that we expected. However, God's delays are not denials. His silence doesn't mean He's ignoring us. There may be reasons beyond our understanding why certain things are not happening right now. It could be that He is protecting us from something, preparing us for greater things, or teaching us to trust Him more deeply. In these moments, we are invited to keep our faith intact, trusting that God's know or wait is part of His loving care for us. Ultimately, embracing God's timing and provision requires a mindset shift from living by our own plans and schedules to living according to God's will and trust in His wisdom. It's a journey of deepening faith, growing in patience, and learning to see the ways in which God is at work in our lives, even when things don't go as planned. Embracing God's timing and provision doesn't just change our circumstances, it transforms us, drawing us closer to heart and aligning our lives more fully with His divine purposes.